So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Becca. I lead the US Solutions Consultant team here at PriceLabs, based in Charleston, South Carolina. I see you, Chad, up in Myrtle Beach. You're just up the road from me. I also have Richie here with us. He's one of our co-founders.
Hey everyone, lovely to meet you again. I think you've probably seen me on various webinars and very excited for what we have for the March update today.
Awesome. We also have David here joining us for Q&A. So if y'all have any questions throughout this session, please use the Q&A section. You should see that option down at the bottom of your screen. Just helps us keep organized, make sure that we're answering all of the questions either live, or if we need to do some research, we can always get back to you if you do that question in the Q&A. But cool, looks like we are I've sort of stopped seeing a flow of participants. We'll go ahead and get started. So for those of you who just joined, welcome again. This is our March product updates. My name is Becca. I've got Richie here. Let me move forward here. So just to go over today's agenda, we want to talk about 5 new features that we have added in the past month. First, we're going to go over our new table view in customizations. Then we'll go through some of our new account logs, super useful if you're trying to understand sort of how things have changed in your account, what changes have been made, and who's actually making those changes. Then we'll go through our improved notes, as well as events, holidays, and future pricing chart, allowing you to actually see what events and holidays might actually be affecting your pricing. And then we'll go through and take a look at the last 2 years' data in market dashboards, which is a highly anticipated change. If you have, again, any questions, feel free to throw those in the Q&A. We will be happy to answer those. So I wanted to get started with the new table view to manage all of your customizations. So if you go to your customizations page, you used to be able to see, and you still can see, a summary of all of the customizations at the account level, in all of your groups, and at your listing level. Something that a lot of you have actually asked us for is either a downloadable summary of all of your customizations, or also just an easier way to see everything all in one place. So we've added this new table view to improve your visibility of all of your pricing rules. Gives you a bird's eye view of all of your customizations. You can export the CSV. So if you want to analyze things offline, makes it very easy to do. And it allows you to easily identify and correct any discrepancies by comparing all of your listings or comparing all of your groups together. So I'll show you where that is. So up at the top of your pricing dashboard, you'll see your dynamic pricing menu. All of you should be pretty familiar with your customizations page. So here, you're now going to see 2 options. If you look in sort of the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the expanded view, which is sort of the view that you all are probably used to seeing, where you're actually seeing each group or each account with a summary of all of your settings. You can now switch this to a table view. And it's going to give you, again, these nice little checkboxes. Sorry, Paul. These nice little checkboxes, and if you hover over them, it'll actually give you an idea. Okay, so all of my groups currently have far out prices applied. What is that actual setting? I can see it when I hover over here. Super simple to use. And again, you can download all of these customizations. So if you want to throw those into an Excel and take a look at what they are, or save the settings that you currently have and review them later, it's really easy to do. Richie, anything to add on this?
No, I mean, but from a workflow perspective, I think this makes life really easy, particularly if you're trying to audit where your groups are different or what you've done, especially for larger portfolios. You may have made certain customizations maybe a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago, right? So for real time, while this solves a need, but really for that one quick view of trying to understand where your portfolios stand, I think this is immensely helpful. And that's where I've seen the customers that I work with use it really quickly, is to just quickly see what my various groups are, what customizations are turned on, and what's turned off, etc. Right? So I operate, and hopefully most of you operate at group levels, right? And so if you're doing that, you can at least quickly see, hey, I have some where I don't have. We don't have minimum stays, maybe something we need to think about, or something, or that we've done in a customization group that should not exist, right? And also with this, you can also quickly, while you look at that, you can also quickly see the number of the listings that are in that group. So I think it's on the three dots, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so show listings in the group, last one.
There it is.
Yeah. So you can also see, hey, which listings belong to this group. So it's like you can quickly audit. And I think particularly helpful for large portfolios because as you continue to build on PriceLabs over time, you may tend to not remember some of the steps that you have taken. And so for that auditing purposes, I think it's perfectly it's particularly helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And what's nice is you're not losing any functionality from the other view. You still have the option to edit all of your customizations, go to that group calendar, make some overrides. So hopefully this will help in everybody's day to day.
Yeah.
And so the next one we're going to go through is enhanced account logs. Richie, do you want to take over sharing your screen, or do you
Yes,
want
I
to
can.
adjust?
I
Okay.
or no. I mean, you can run the sorry,
Okay.
you can run the presentation, and I'll take over the when I
Yeah,
share
you
the
just
screen.
tell me where to
Cool.
go.
Yeah. Just next step. Cool. So in the very so you'd notice one of the themes that we have looked at through this round of release is making that auditing a little bit easier, right? A lot of you use PriceLabs really well, and like we've over the years we've worked on the setup side. If you remember, last year we rolled out the hyperlocal pulse, which makes the pricing algorithm better. And then last year we also rolled out a bunch of data tools so you could see how your prices were tracking in comparison to the competition, etc. So we did that, and then following that we did various metrics, so performance metrics and pacing reports in dashboards. So we rolled out those features, and the next thing that we wanted to solve for was this ability to audit what's happening within your accounts, right? So like the last feature that Becca just explained, ability to quickly see all of your customizations across group levels or listing levels, and like Chad rightly quoted, quick way to audit, right? It's exactly what we wanted to do with that one, and very similarly follows up on the same measure here on the log side. So if you have multiple people acting in PriceLabs, and hopefully some of you are using Teams feature at PriceLabs, right? So if you have multiple people and operating at different levels, what we wanted to do was simplify the logs access. So that's what we've done with this. This is an upgrade. Logs always existed in PriceLabs. It's an upgrade so that you can track that easier. You can filter down more easily. You can also filter down by team members if you're using that. And then we've made it simpler so that you can compare like to like compare a little bit more easily. Becca, if you want to hop into your screen, so if you're in your PriceLabs account, on the right top where your name is, if you click that, you'll see logs. And if you go into logs, it reports all of the user actions that you're taking in PriceLabs. So that's what it's and by user actions, I mean anything that you're saving, right? So if you're going from one page to another, that's not something that we showcase as logs, but anything that you're saving into PriceLabs, that's what we're saving. And Becca, if you can go on that choose view, drop down listing view, listing level. So previously we used to have listing level, account level, and group level. Now what we've also done is we've added a couple more. We have reports which actually should be called market dashboards, if we can tell our team that. So that's market dashboards, right? Then we have a minimum stay profile, and then we have the revenue estimator, which is the new product that we have recently launched, right? And so you can select which level do you want to audit at. Then you can select a date range. You can go up to a year back, from what I know, right? But depending on if you want to go further back, it can sometimes be a little bit slower. So you can audit any of the date ranges in the past very quickly. You can, because you selected listing view, you can either leave it at all listings, or if you have a lot of listings on your account and if you wanted to search for a specific word, you can search for that specific word and select those listings relatively easily. So say Becca's selecting a couple here for us, and then once I've selected the set of listings, I can also select certain actions, right? So say, hey, I only want to look for base price updates or API overrides or listing notes created, et cetera, et cetera. So I could look for that specific selection item. And then finally, what I can also do is if you're using Teams Access, you can select for, hey, which team member are you trying to audit? And then that makes hopefully the search process a lot easier. There is a bunch more changes that we'll be bringing onto the log side, but this first update, I hope, helps you access these logs a lot more easily. And what you see is it's better structured. So for example, Becca's logs listing customization update, you can very clearly see the IP address that that update came from, the user email that was on the account, the local time. So it's local time. Please remember that it's not it's not some computer time. It's local time where you're accessing the logs from. Actions, of course, that you've taken, and then before and after, right? So in this one, you can see Becca's made a big update on, sorry, the one above, just one above. Yeah, so it's a customization update, and Becca's made a big change on the minimum stay update. She went from 4-night, 5-night standard to a much deeper minimum stay restriction, right? And the one just below that, you can see she made a change to base price. So on the left-hand side, on the fourth column, it says base price updated just above the listing ID, left, where it says base price updated.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, so thank you. Of course, Becca's playing here with her account, so don't go from 168 to
Do this.
407 and then 370. So don't do that. This is Becca's demo account, so of course she can. But you can start to filter by certain actions, and it makes your life in terms of auditing relatively easier. Sometimes you may have rogue scenarios, or sometimes you may have scenarios where you're not sure why something's happened, and so hopefully this helps. And then finally, whatever you see on this page, you can also of course download as a CSV, and that makes it hopefully, like if you want to filter further beyond what's already on this page, you can do that in an Excel. Hopefully you don't need to use logs all that much, but know that for your comfort, if you do need to access logs, it's here, and we're going to improve it further because we do think that's something in an off chance property managers might need. And again, if you have feedback on this, would love to hear. Back to you, Becca.
Cool. Yeah, no, I know that's been a long time coming. So something else that I believe we're going to have even more improvements on, again, sort of focusing on visibility and auditing, is our notes. So this is definitely a feature that a lot of our users love, and we're trying to improve it. So now we are allowing you to actually see a history of the notes that you've added. So you can see, back in January, what was your note? Instead of just having sort of like a long running note, this is going to allow you to really sort of understand the reasonings behind any decisions that you've made, whether that's pricing changes or changes to your minimum stay. It allows you to communicate with your team. So if there's multiple people that are going in and working on different listings, you want to make sure that, everybody is on the same page. Notes is a great way to do that. And then of course, owner requests. If you know that an owner, never wants to go below a 7-night minimum, or an owner wants to raise prices in this case, it's going to sort of keep a history there. So if I hop back into my account, I can go to my pricing dashboard. So there's two ways, Jacob. I'll show you how you can see notes in the multi-calendar. Many of you will probably mostly be living in the multi-calendar here. So you'll see here, I believe you'll have to click these 3 dots if you don't currently have notes selected. Go ahead and select notes. Those will actually start to show them on this page. And then you'll be able to see, so my recent note was low bookings, but I can actually add a new note or view all of the notes that I've had. So this is, again, my demo account, so I haven't really had a ton of notes. I don't really have owner input or anything here, but you'll be able to see a full history of the notes that have happened, been put onto this listing. Now, if I go to my multi-calendar, notes are also accessible here. So if you look in this listing column, it's really easy to see which listings have notes. Rio's Retreat here, this little note column or note icon is red, whereas the other ones are not. I can quickly click on this. You can see your recent note, all notes, and also save any notes that might come to mind as you're working on this page. And then back to you, Richie, unless you had
Very
anything
cool.
else.
Yeah, on the notes, if I could add a few
Yeah.
things. So today you can add notes at listing level, right? The improvement that we've added is ability to add multiple notes, adjust existing notes, and then being able to see the notes in quick views. There are a few more adjustments that we'll make this year. We don't have timelines on it yet, but for you to be able to set a reminder on a note so that you get a reminder back somewhere in PriceLabs to saying, hey, remember this note that you had added. So that's one thing that we're working on. Adil, to your question, right now notes come at listing level, but that's also another thing that we're going to add, which is being able to add at group levels or account levels, etc. The third thing that we're going to do on this same one, which Jacob may answer your question. If not, if it doesn't, please do like either write here or send us an email, but or talk to your account manager, right? But what we're going to do is also create somewhere in the product, we don't know where yet, but an ability to access, just like logs, ability to access notes across various levels a little bit more easily, right? So those are the three changes that we'll be working on. Talent, to your question, pull notes via API. I am not sure, but we will come back to you on that. If you were able to access them previously, I would want to say that you still should be able to, but we will double check and come back to you on the API question.
Also, love all the questions that are coming in. If you could throw them into the Q&A, it just, for the ones especially where we have to follow up after this, it just allows us to keep track of those much better. But yeah, definitely keep the questions coming. So cool.
Alrighty.
Back to you, Richie, on this one.
Fantastic. Cool. So one of the things that Becca, yeah, if you can hop back like into the next slide.
Sorry.
Um, no worries. Thank you for doing this and sharing screen. Um, and so yeah, like one thing that we have changed on events and holidays is previously when you were looking at neighborhood data tab, which I think is one of the more powerful tabs in PriceLabs that I often jump into, right? You couldn't very easily see when a certain holiday was, uh, and we hope you'd find this implementation smart. But what our team did is they said, hey, we can add a short line right at the bottom to highlight where a certain uh, event is, and not that just that specific day, but what dates get impacted by that event date, right? And so that's what we've added. If I can, Becca, if I can share my screen and
Yeah.
quickly hop into my account to show this. So at PriceLabs, there are a few different places where you can see events. My account is not as rich as Becca's, so I apologize in advance. But of course, you're hopefully familiar with the calendar view itself, and I'm going to hop into the most obvious event here. But if you're familiar with the calendar view, and if you put your mouse on the rate of a certain date, you'd see a pop-up. And the same works in multi-calendar view as well. If you put your mouse on a certain date, you'll see a pop-up that describes how that rate was calculated. But right on the top, you see the event name if you're particularly recognized, right? So you were for a while you were able to see this, right? And here what we are not saying is that it's just December 31st, which is New Year's Day, like all the way from 27th through Jan 2nd, prices are getting impacted because of New Year's Day as an event, right? So we're not, don't use this as your calendar to saying which day is New Year's Day. It's more what prices get impacted by that certain event, right? So similarly, I think for Easter, actually, this is New Orleans, so I'm not sure if Easter really hasn't, and it's kind of last minute now. But you could see, for example, 29th and 30th getting impacted for Easter, right? And so this was always happening on the calendar view. And then in the neighborhood view, and I'm hoping this loads because I was playing with my account a little while ago. Okay, looks like it'll load. Cool. So in the neighborhood view, you'd see the future prices chart previously did not have the event names. And as Becca was showing in the screenshot and what you can see here, you can see, hey, my 29th, my 30th, and my 31st, and even all the way till 1st is getting impacted by Easter. Here, my dates are getting impacted by Jazz Festival, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and so you can see what's impacting those rates, right? It might be in certain scenarios where we don't know what the event is, right? And so if you're in your PriceLabs account, you'd also see on the right-hand side here an events and holidays thing. So if you click on view here, you can one quickly see like the key dates, particularly the names and what average prices we are quoting for that. You could, if you had added an override, you'd see that as well if there was an override for that specific event. And also for something like this, right? We're seeing a huge price increase, but we don't know what that event is. That's happening on October 5th in New Orleans, right? You could always add feedback, which our team can take into account. And if you don't see anything here, you can report an event with a certain date and tell us what you think the impact should be. And what our data science team then ends up doing is they look at what you've reported. They'd see if it really should have an impact. They go back and check prior dates. And if they feel like it should have an impact, they add it to our database. We maintain our own databases. Even though we may not have the name of an event, you'd still see price updates or price changes. So for example, here on October 5th as an example, where is October 5th? This one, right? So you're seeing that price increase like this is relatively higher compared to prior months, prior days, right? We don't know what this event is, but what we are seeing is that there is, where is October 5th? October 9th. Right here, right? You're seeing a slight price increase here. Sorry, occupancy increase here, which is leading us to actually increase the prices, even though we may not know what the name of the event is, right? So the new update is the pink line, and then you can hover over the calendar, the graph view, and quickly see the event names. If you're trying to determine why is PriceLabs increasing here the rates as much, it's Taylor Swift, of course. Yeah, so hopefully you'd find this feature useful as you're going through and reviewing your listings. Cool. Anything on this? Cool. Looks like time saver. So great. That's good feedback. Cool. Could we also have event info on the occupancy chart? We'll take that feedback and we'll give it to the team. And then when in future prices, could we have the option of looking at last 6 months? We'll bring this back. Like the often debate that we've had is, because prices evolve every day, what does the last 6-month price actually mean, right? But this is something that team is thinking about. On the occupancy chart, though, I think if you double click on this, you can actually see it's a hack on the occupancy chart. I don't know, Becca, if you knew this.
I didn't know
If you
this.
uh,
That's
if
cool.
you double click on the chart, you can actually in the white space, if you double click, you can see what the last, I think this is 6 months or whatever, October 2nd to, I think it's 6 months or something like that, right? you can see what the market occupancies that were achieved at. And if you layer on add last year data, you'd also see what now if I double click again, you'd see what the final market the subsequent last year was, and the current last 6 months were. So on occupancy chart, you can. It's a hack. I don't think so. Most people know this, and we have not publicized this as a feature. On the pricing chart, currently you can't. Cool.
Learn something new.
Over to you, Becca.
Cool. Do you want to stop sharing your screen? And I can.
Oh, sorry. I was blanking out there. Yeah.
Hopefully this is the right one. Can y'all see my multi-calendar? Yes. Okay. Hopefully y'all are seeing the right thing. Great. So our final update is one that I'm super excited about. We've been sort of teasing this for some time now. You can now see 2 years worth of data in Market Dashboard. So it used to be, I think, 16 months, a little bit over a year's history.
I think 15 months or 16 months. Yeah.
Was that
15
right?
or 16?
15 probably is more,
Yeah.
more. So now
Although
we
I
can
could see
see
16.
all the way up to 2 years. So this isn't going to be in every single chart. It's going to be in our market history graphs, supply and demand graphs, which is one I'm super excited about, price, occupancy trends, and then our length of stay date chart. Now, we did this just because I think more data is something that everybody loves. So again, if you want to, y'all should know, but if you want to get to your market dashboards page, you're going to click on this market research button, go to market dashboards. And this isn't just for new dashboards. This is for any dashboards that you currently have, which is exciting. You'll click show dashboard. I already have one just up here loaded because it'll take some time. So here's New Orleans. Now you'll notice if I scroll down, you'll now see 2 years worth of data in your market history. So you can really see, if we're looking at like April of 2022 versus April of 2023, pretty significant, at least in average revenue in this market, pretty significant decline. I think the markets have really been changing over the past couple of years. So this is just really helping our users get a little bit more visibility in the trends over between 2022, 2023, and now 2024. Our supply and demand charts also have this information. Again, if you're trying to see how your market has changed, the new supply that has come in over the past 2 years, really helpful place to look at that. Also, for the average bookings per listing, I like seeing the 2 years because it helps you understand seasonal changes too. Sometimes if you're going from like a high season into a low season, you're actually seeing on this chart a lot of sort of like a drop off in the number of bookings on average per listing. Here you can sort of understand those seasonal trends and really understand if it's just something that's happening, just right now in the market, or if it's a broader trend that you might need to be worried about. If we scroll down again, we've got your future occupancy bookings and cancellations. Now you can always double click like Richie had done. You can also adjust using this little bar right here. But also if you click on this pink square in the upper right-hand corner, you can choose a date range. So within the past 2 years and then forward looking, I believe 1 year. Occupancy and future prices. And then the final one is going to be this length of stay and booking window trend chart here. So super useful, a little bit more data, a little bit more visibility. Hopefully it can help you all make better data backed decisions going forward. Anything to add, Richie?
No, not on this one. Not on this one. The one thing, if we have time left, um, can you answer Sonia's question? And then I was wondering if we have time left, maybe we can also spend 5 minutes on Revenue Estimator Pro. I'm not sure how many folks have. Is there anyone on the call who's not familiar with the Revenue Estimator Pro? And if so, tell us if we should spend time on that. in the meanwhile, maybe Becca, uh,
Yeah,
cleaning
Sonia.
fee. Sonia has a question on cleaning fee.
Yeah, Sonia, lovely to hear from you. Yeah, if you scroll, if you're in market dashboards, there is a section where you can look at cleaning fees in your market. I believe in the future we will have a section where you can sort of see how your cleaning fee compares to other listings in neighborhood data as well. But right now, if you scroll down just below desired amenities, pretty much the last section on this page is going to be your policies and fees. You'll be able to see things like your markets, weekly discounts, monthly discounts, and of course, cleaning fees right here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you definitely want to either at least filter by bedroom count or create a more specific comp set. Because right now I'm looking at everything from 3 to 10 bedrooms. So looking at the cleaning fees between a 3 bedroom and a 10 bedroom. Those are going to vary wildly. So this information probably isn't as useful as if I were just looking at, say, 3 and 4 bedrooms. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this data. But essentially what you're seeing here is the percentage of listings with each category of fee versus the percentage of booking. So it can kind of give you a little bit of insight into, if a fee might be affecting the bookings that are coming in. So if you look here at this cleaning fee between $109 and $144, it looks like 12.46% of bookings in the past 30 days have been for listings with this cleaning fee, whereas only 12.12% of the listings in this market have that cleaning fee. So these listings are getting a couple more bookings than, say, if we look at the 181 to 216 category, there's almost 20% of the listings in the market have this, but they're only receiving 18% of the bookings. So it can help you sort of understand where your cleaning fee needs to be in order to be competitive. And also if there's sort of a threshold where maybe there's too high of a cleaning fee in your market and it's affecting your actual bookings. Well, hopefully this helps. Did we
I
get an
think
answer to
I think
the
two people said on the Revenue Estimator Pro. Maybe we can spend a quick minute on, yeah.
Definitely. Cool. So if y'all haven't checked out the Revenue Estimator Pro, definitely do it. You have at least 2 free credits to give it a try. And honestly, if you just check it out just to give us feedback, that is also hugely important to us. One thing that's really great about it, and the reason why we sort of went with the Revenue Estimator Pro is because our market dashboards have a ton of data. It's really rich data and you can get a lot out of it, but sometimes you just want to get a quick estimate, but still maintain that granularity, that control that you have when you're making comp sets and market dashboards. So let's go ahead and create a new estimate. Let's just do, we'll
And
say,
as Becca's doing that, like while this is fairly likely obvious, right? But what we heard from a few property managers was oftentimes while going to owners or while going to investors, they needed a quick estimate so that they could have a conversation around what to expect in terms of revenue that they could generate from a property, and what anything that existed in the market did not have enough level of granularity, and so that's what we have tried to do with this tool to give you enough level of granularity that you want to achieve. Back to you, Becca.
yeah, so I just threw in sort of a random address in Chicago, 100 Main Street. I chose my bedroom count and the currency that I want the estimate in. You'll see a map view of where we're putting this location just to confirm that we actually do have the right address here. You'll also see that we have just under 400 listings, about 385 other 3 bedrooms in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and click create estimate, and it's so fast. I mean, I want to jinx it and have my computer freeze, but especially if you're used to sort of waiting for our market dashboard, if you're creating a new location, it can take 5-10 minutes for it to actually load. So the fact that this will load, within a minute or so, is really, really huge. Cool. So it's doing its final little load here, but essentially what you can see is we're giving you just of those 380, or it looks like 391 listings in this comp set, we're giving you sort of the median or average daily rate, the revenue, and the occupancy. Now there is a little bit of a range. Obviously, different listings are going to perform differently within your market. So you'll see the estimated revenue is 37, just under $38,000 a year, but we do have a range between 20 and 57. So that can be affected by listing quality. It can be affected by the number of active nights that a listing is actually online for. Obviously, if they're using dynamic pricing or managed by a professional manager versus, somebody who's, just a host, doing it in their free time. Now, of course, my computer's going to freeze because oh, there it is, beautiful. So this should give you sort of an idea of the range, but of course you can go in, and this is like the best part, is the fact that you can refine and filter your comp set. So you'll see your listing represented by this little star here, and maybe I don't want to take into account all the listings in sort of this southern area. I just want the listings kind of super close by to me. So I'm going to draw a little circle here, make sure that I get the right neighborhood. And that will reload all the listings sort of in this list here. Now you'll notice we will show you both active and inactive listings. So if one recently went offline, but we do have its data sort of like in our archives, you can decide whether you want to include that or get rid of it. We also have all those same advanced filters that you have when you're creating comp sets in Market Dashboard. So if I want to filter by active nights or the review scores of those listings, whether there is a hot tub or not, I can quickly, and maybe I'll do that for a couple of these. I'll say I only want to see listings with high scores, with a couple of reviews. We're not going to do any midterm listings, so we'll say 14 night. And then I'll make sure that they're active for at least, we'll say like 200 nights. Now you'll notice as I'm changing all of these metrics, just below here, the number of listings matching the criteria is decreasing. So I'll apply this filter and then I'll select all. And then I can even go through and click through these listings to make sure aesthetically they're similar to the listing that I have in mind. So this listing doesn't really have professional photography, so maybe it's not one that I actually want to include in my comp set. Once I've gone through that, I can go ahead and click Apply Changes. And then all these numbers are going to be recalculated on those listings that I have specifically handpicked. Now you'll notice that my ADR has gone down, but the expected revenue and occupancy for these specific listings are higher than that of the broader comp set that was selected initially. You can download this into a CSV if you want to, add this to additional data sources that you're using to make your um, estimates. You can also download it into a PDF. So if you've gone into your settings and uploaded your own logo, it will be white labeled and I think powered by PriceLabs, but it'll be a nice little professional, I can even show you right now. It'll be a nice professional way to sort of send over a revenue estimate if you're working with stakeholders or investors or anything. It can just quickly send that over via email.